Obama is back. Let's listen.
Congressional seats. And I am here with my good friend, Attorney General Eric Holder, because we're facing an existential threat to our democracy, and we need your help.
Right now, in states across the country, like Texas and Florida, these extreme conservative politicians are announcing and acting on plans to slice and dice House districts with the goal of preserving their own power while diluting the voting power of communities of color.
They're doing the same thing in Ohio, trying to give one-party control over almost 90% of congressional seats.
Rather than facing their voters at the polls next year, they're trying to silence them instead.
In a rare and pointed critique, former President Barack Obama has publicly rebuked President Donald Trump again, this time taking aim at Trump's policies that Obama believes undermines democratic norms and institutions. This marks the third time in consecutive weeks the former president has decided to speak out against the man that succeeded him as president. First, during a recent event in Hamilton College, Obama addressed what he described as, quote, unimaginable actions by the Trump administration. He discussed the Trump administration's threats against universities and law firms that he believes is contrary to the basic principles of American democracy.
Imagine if I had done any of this. Let me just, I just want to be clear about this. Imagine that Imagine if I had pulled Fox News' credentials from the White House press corps. You're laughing, but well, this is what's happened. Imagine if I'd said to law firms that were representing parties that were upset with policies my administration had initiated, that you will not be allowed into government buildings. We will punish you economically for dissenting from the Affordable Care Act or the Iran deal. We will ferret out students who protest against my policies. It's unimaginable that the same parties that are silent now would have tolerated behavior like that from me, or a whole bunch of my predecessors. So, and I say this not on a partisan basis. This has to do with something more precious, which is, who are we as a country, and what values do we stand for?
Before turning his attention to Republican efforts to gerrymander and why he supports Gavin Newsom's response. And he put out this video alongside Eric Holder in a video posted to X.
Hey everybody, it's Barack, and I am here with my good friend, Attorney General Eric Holder, because we're facing an existential threat to our democracy, and we need your help.
Right now, in states across the country, like Texas and Florida, these extreme conservative politicians are announcing and acting on plans to slice and dice House districts with the goal of preserving their own power while diluting the voting power of communities of color.
They're doing the same thing in Ohio, trying to give one-party control over almost 90% of congressional seats.
Rather than facing their voters at the polls next year, they're trying to silence them instead.
Eric and I started the NDRC to win fights like this. So, if you want your voice to be heard in next year's midterm elections and beyond, help us meet this moment and preserve our democracy. You got countries all around the world where the elections are fixed, and whoever's in charge suppresses and makes it hard for the opposition to compete. And we used to be a shining example to those countries. And people would aspire to the kind of true democracy that America has. And we need to get back to that, because that's not just a Democratic or a Republican idea, that's an American idea. That's what we're fighting for.
Now, as we know, Obama has continued to express particular concern of the administration's attempts to intimidate institutions that dissent from its policies, as well as trying to manipulate the midterms and utilize the military against its own citizens.
Okay. Let's say a Democratic president had absolutely no respect for Congress, a co-equal branch, appropriating funds, right to determine tariff policy. You'd be saying, what is this? This isn't what the Constitution wanted. Let's say that a Democrat was deploying an yes, you would.
No, I wouldn't.
Then you're a bad constitutionalist.
Oh,
Let's say that a Democrat was deploying the National Guard to cities controlled by Republicans. Let's say
You can tell that something is coming up now. It's clear that Obama is hinting that he wants to come back. And he's challenging the Democrats that we need to wake up and not allow the Republicans or Trump in general to destroy our country. And you can tell, it's funny that last weekend, Trump was nowhere to be seen. And Obama is hitting a comeback. What do you think is pushing Obama to come back? Do you feel the current policies by Trump and also using military on the streets is what is pushing Obama to come back on the streets? Because one, I believe this is one. Two, I believe the Democrats have lost the power. And I agree that apart from someone like Zoran Mamdani, all the others look like they are shaky, and most I can give credit to someone like AOC and also this guy, the Jewish guy. What is his name? Those guys are the ones that are pushing the narrative of Democrats. And one thing I would say is, for me, I don't believe in Democrat or Republican because I believe this is a part of the problem of American history. Because one thing you understand is both Democrats and Republicans get the same funding from the same person, AIPAC. And there is a reason why we have a very shitty foreign policy from American government that allows genocide to happen. And to me, I feel like apart from Democrats trying to renovate themselves and trying to come back, I believe they need to have a stand and tell AIPAC, yes, we have been receiving money from you, but we need now to stand on the ground of America. There's a reason why Mamdani is gaining fame. It's because this is the first politician to say that I'm ready to defend Americans and not to defend Israel's interest. And this is where the MAGA have failed. Because MAGA is a big scam. It was nigger. Let me know what you think in the comment section. I'm your host, James. Let's meet in the next video.